Kalia, but I go by Kai. I have a almost 800 credit score. I have a Roth IRA, a HYSA, healthy, consistent spending habits. I live in luxury below my means. I do what I want and only with people I love and who I respect, which is a big deal to me. I have all my bills on auto pay. I have more saved than 25% of anyone in my age group, and I have no financial strain. And this is exactly how I would save $10,000 on a $39,000 a year salary. So the first thing that is very important, and this is using 2025, so this is January 1st to December, okay? The very first thing that's very important is knowing your input. So your input is how much you make. So that is going to be $39,000. And the second thing that's so important to know is your output needs to equal your input, okay? That's how you don't create more debt. You are not going to be able to save money if you spend more money than you actually are receiving an income, okay? So you want to make sure you understand your input equals your output. Okay, your categories that we're going to work on are our outputs, basically where our money is going. Any transaction we do, any money we spend, anything going out, doesn't matter if it's leisure, doesn't matter if it's taxes, doesn't matter what it is, where is your money going? That is the key to us making this $10,000 in savings with a 12-month span. So your leisure, your taxes, your rent, your needs, your things that you really don't want to have to need, but you still need to pay for, like maybe you need to go to the doctor or things like that. Your insurances, your health insurance, your car insurance, your home insurance, any unexpected expenses that may come up are also included. So all of these categories are gonna be based on you. Okay, but these are just some ones I'm listing out. So your leisure, taxes, rent, your needs, your insurances, your savings, your investing, unexpected expenses, and of course, wiggle room. So important. Wiggle room is leaving space in your budget for mistakes and for things to happen, okay? Basically, wiggle room helps us with those unexpected expenses, okay? Please pause this video and look at your last 6 months of transactions. If you cannot sit and look at your last 6 months of transactions, you are gonna have a really hard time saving $10,000. So either you get over that fear or you don't save $10,000. Those are your two choices. So whether you are making maybe something you're gonna look at in those 6 months is gonna be a one-time purchase, or it was a reoccurring purchase like a subscription for Apple Music or something like that. Put all of it in a category, okay? These categories are up to you. So you have to make sure that you're looking at your last 6 months of expenses so you know every category that exists for you. Please don't be a liar. Please don't lie about your transactions, because that makes it really hard to have a concrete input and output, because you think, I make $39,000 and I can't be spending more than that. You can. It's very easy to spend that and not be able to see that you're spending more than you make, okay? And you're also, part of your categories, you may have to add in a miscellaneous, which is going to be like random one-off purchases, unexpected purchases, miscellaneous, or MISC dot, it stands for miscellaneous. You're gonna have to put every single one of these transactions into a category. It's gonna take you maybe 30 minutes, okay? Look through the past 6 months transactions. Please don't be a liar, because you need to know your real input. If you don't know your real input, okay, and your real output, it's gonna be so hard. So if you think, oh, I couldn't have went to Chick-fil-A that many times, I couldn't have spent that much, I could, like, no, look at it. What are the facts? Okay, look at your actual bank statements. That's the first thing. Then you want to look at what are your non-negotiables. This is going to be taxes. A little bit later, I come in and I write down that it's going to be your savings. So that 10K, that's part of your non-negotiables. What we're currently trying to do is find our tax bracket. So in $39,000, it's actually going to be 19 to 24% taxes, right? The reason why we're taking out taxes and we're taking out how much you make or how much you're trying to save are because those are non-negotiables. These non-negotiables, you need to know them before you start looking at how your budget's going to be, okay? So essentially, you need to subtract your taxes and the 10K from how much you're actually going to be able to spend in the year, because our input and our output equals the same number. Okay, stay with me. Rewatch the video if it gets confusing. I promise you, it's going to be, okay? Stick with me. So you're basically starting with almost $40,000, right? Our income, right, is $39K. But after we take out our taxes and we take out our $10K of savings, we're literally left with almost $30K. So that's a $10K difference. And you need to pay really, really close attention, right? No. That's actually before we take out the savings. When we take out the savings, then we actually have $20K left in our budget, okay? But it's so important that you are paying attention to what you're actually making. So the money that you're making doesn't include your taxes. And we need to make sure we leave wiggle room. So that $336 is technically going to be our wiggle room. So we're not going to add that number to the overall 31K. Now, I'm going to show you all of this before our savings and show you all of it after we include our savings. So we have an input column, which really isn't a column. It only has one value, $39,000. And then we have an output column, which has a type and it has the dollar amount. So these are all based on you, remember, because now you're going to take your 6 months of expenses. You're going to you're going to go look at your categories and you're going to put them all here. Okay. All your categories that you found out. So that's probably eating out, rent, phone bill, anything you spent money on in the past 6 months goes into the first column. Okay. And then you're going to put the amount next to it. Not yet. We're going to do that later. Okay. Now that you have understood that your taxes are not included in your real income, neither is this $10,000. So we technically have $21K as our input. Okay. Our input is $21,000. It's no longer $39,000. $21,000 is what we have. And I'm going back and writing in, yes, our non-negotiables are our taxes and they are our savings. So regardless of what happens, we need to make sure that we're saving and we need to make sure we have money for taxes so we don't get snatched up by the IRS. Okay. So now you're going to go and look at what this 10K actually means. So this 10K, I'm doing some math here, okay? That 10K is going to equal to $833 a month or $416 every 2 weeks. If you get paid on the 1st and 15th, you can use the $416. If you get paid once a month, use the $833. If you get paid twice a month, but you want to use one payment at $833, do whatever you want, right? So either you're contributing $833 monthly or $416 bi-weekly. Either way, that's non-negotiable, okay? Now this is our final point. This is what we are looking at. Input is $21K and our output has 2 columns. Our type, which is all of our categories that we've had for the past 6 months. If there's some things that have fallen out of line, miscellaneous, right? All those categories, not the actual things. So you're not going to write Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A, blah, blah, like, no, you're just going to put fast food. So put the categories here, okay? Rent is a category, insurance is a category, phone bill, credit card bill, any specific thing goes here. Now we're going to put it per month because we aren't getting paid all of the 21K or 39K at one time. We're getting it paid over a year. So we look at it monthly. We make 1.75K a month, okay? Which means that all of our categories need to equal. They can't exceed 1.7K, 1.75K, okay? That's $1,750. And this includes our wiggle room, our taxes, and our savings. So if we can get, literally, this is a synopsis of the video. If we can get our monthly expenses to only equal $1,750, we have enough money for taxes, enough money for wiggle room, and enough money for 10K savings, okay? By the way, if I didn't say before, this $833 per month or $416 bi-weekly is going into a high yield saving account, and I'm going to tell you why after, okay? We make almost $700 of free money by putting it into a high yield savings account. So I'm just drawing some things up. It doesn't actually, it's not going to reflect exactly what you're doing, but you need to make it reflect what you're doing, okay? Change all this stuff to literally input your income in your categories. For me, I put car note, car insurance, groceries, eating out. Utilities are $1,000, or rent and utilities are $1,100. Car note, paid it off. Insurance, paid it off. No eating out, no leisures, right? No leisures because let's just say you bulk buy body wash, bulk buy toilet paper, bulk buy stuff at the beginning of the year. So every single month you're not including that in your budget. Okay, this is our monthly budget. Okay, and that's also why I made a whole entire video about delegation. If you want to watch that video, I'll put it down below. It's called Why Successful People Delegate. The reason why you need to delegate is because eventually your leisure will be zero, your car note will be zero, your car insurance will be zero, because you can pay those things off at one time. If you didn't know that, you don't have to do monthly. You don't have to do monthly payments, okay? That actually costs you more to do monthly payments. So for instance, with your phone bill, you can go to Mint Mobile or Visible, which are both run by huge companies, T-Mobile and Verizon, but they're just a smaller brand, and you pay $300 for the entire year instead of $100 a month, okay? So now we're kind of moving some things around, and we have $200 left in our budget. And now we're like, okay, I'm gonna up my investing because I have enough money to do that. So I have $100 left over right now. So I've currently spent $1,075, and now I'm gonna make my eating budget $50. So now I'm saving money and I get to eat out, right? And I'm adding $50 to my grocery bill. So I have $0 left in my monthly budget, and it all equals out to zero, okay? So if we spend exactly what our categories say and exactly that amount, we will end up being perfectly saved $10,000. So if you only spend 1.75K a month, you will save $10,000 on a $40,000 salary, okay? $39,000 salary. You will have saved 10K, okay? This is not impossible. Plus the interest, which is what we're gonna get into now. So the interest accumulated throughout the year, we're gonna do some math, right? You wanna go Google a thing called a interest calculator. It can also be called a compounding calculator, right? Compound is basically you have money and it stacks on top of each other because you're putting it into an account that has interest, high interest, okay? Google, and it doesn't matter which one you use. I've used them in different videos before. I think in my financial literacy video where I said, like, if I would want to be financially stable all over again at 18 years old, this is what I would do. In that video where I talked about that, I showed a different one, but you don't have to use a specific one. They're all the same code for it. So this is what you're going to input. So when you see the calculator, it's going to have a whole bunch of parameters, like your compounding, what you're starting with, what you're adding to it, your interest, etc. You want to fill all those out, and then you want to press enter, and it's going to give you your result. So you want to input how much you're going to be starting with, which is basically your first payment, which is $833. I made a mistake and put $416 on accident, but so it means that we earned more than how much I wrote. So you want to start with $416, or put $833 because that's the mistake that I made, right? I put a weekly payment, not the whole month. After 1 year, just 1 year from January to December, okay, your APY, put whatever is the APY of your HYSA, okay? So if your HYSA is 3%, 5%, 7%, doesn't matter what it is, put that there. Compound is monthly, and add your contribution, which is $833, or do semi-monthly, right? 2 times a month, $416. So if you invest, also invest at the end of each month. If you invest at the beginning of the month, you make less money than if you invest at the end. So if you're going to set your investments to transfer out of your account that you're getting paid money into your account, that's $17.50 into your account. have your HYSA set up to transfer that 416 by monthly or bi-weekly, or monthly, to come out at the end of the month, so the 30th or the 25th or whatever, at the end of the month, because you actually make more money if you do it that way. You're gonna make over $630 of free money. Now, you still have to pay taxes on this money that you earn, and you still have to account for inflation. However, that's free money just by putting the money in the account on top of the 10K. Okay, this is not just, oh, we saved it. No, on top of the 10K. So, in all, you successfully have saved $10.6 thousand. Congratulations, $10.6 thousand. Okay, and on a $39,000 salary. So it's possible. You can do it and put your own numbers.